Hey, aloha kako. I see some of our friends joining us here on Zoom, and we're going to get started in just a few minutes. And I see we're also live on our Kanayo Kana page, and today we're also going live on Kupaoa's page, as well as all of our partners. So if you're joining us on Facebook, we encourage you to share your post, and so we can invite more friends to come and join us. And I'm doing that myself right now. I'm sharing. And yeah, I see our friends joining us. And mahalo nui for all that are joining us here on our Zoom link. And go tell more of your friends to come join us on Zoom as well. We like filling up our room here. We love having our friends join us on the Facebook Live. And hope you guys are all having a wonderful day, a wonderful morning here in Hanapepe. It's beautiful. And I see that Wakani no Kahola. So we're gonna get started. So let's see, what's my first slide here? Let me see if I can holomu on our slides. Okay, so aloha no, and if you're joining us on Zoom as well as on Facebook, please let us know where you're tuning in from. We love sending our aloha out to your aina, to your vahipana. So let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from. And yeah, I see Kamaha'o is here with us once again from here on Kauai. Aloha noi Kamaha'o. Kamaha'o is joining us from Wailua, Kauai, as well as the Ohana Rasi Fukino joining us from Kapa'a. And let's see, on our Facebook page, I'm seeing Onion Lake, Saskatchewan, Canada. Aloha no. Las Vegas is joining us. Where else? Chris is joining us from Waikapu, Maui. Shelly is joining us from California. And she's saying, hoping to visit in September. Mai kailoa. Nakala Neil is here from Kaimuki. Aloha. Aloha ika ohana Hannes. Let's see. Jenny is joining us from Jackson, Mississippi. Woo-hoo. We got people. Oh, Ocean View, Hawaii. Mahea Hoaku. Let's see. We love hearing, you've heard me say before, the other day, we were so excited that we had friends joining us from Nairobi, Kenya. And we've been having friends from Mahea Hoaku, Puerto Rico, and Aotearoa, and Tahiti. I wonder if we'll have some friends joining us from the Federated States of Micronesia one day, or maybe, it might be too early because they're like a day ahead, but a few hours behind. So yeah. Oh, we got all kind of friends. I see lots of hearts and stuff coming up on our Facebook. So mai kailoa. Let's holomua. Oh, and a little kahea that I wanted to put out to all of you. Maybe you might be a graduate of Hawaiian Studies or Hawaiian Language at UH Manoa, and we would love to connect with you. We're trying to put together a contact list for all of our past graduates, even prior to Hawaii Nui Akea. So maybe it was like myself when I was a Hawaiian language major. We weren't there. Hawaii Nui Akea didn't exist yet. So, even all of those graduates from the 80s and 90s, go on to this website here, or maybe you might know someone. We want to just be able to connect with you more. go.hawaii.edu/AHE. So yeah, we're looking for all our graduates. Mahalo. Oh, and then in preparation for Mother's Day that's coming up, I wanted to see who's a mom or a mama nui that you would like to honor today? Can you put that in the chat and we'll just give a shout out to all our wonderful moms. Oh, I'm also seeing there's Ohana joining us from Ruatoki, New Zealand today, Aotearoa. Tuhoi, Evie. Also Ohana from Kapole, Oahu, Hilo, Hawaii, Arkansas. So let's see, who's some of the moms out there? Whether you're a new mom, you're an expecting mom, yeah, any kind of mom, mama nui. You know, I'll send an aloha out to my mom. She's over here listening in, and my mom is Rosalind Nobriga. And oh, let's see. Fuarasi says, "Ke aloha nui to my own makua hine hau nani, and to you e malia haolila mama. Mahalo nui." Let's see. Oh, Marie Posey and D. Swender. And Tosh is saying Nanakuli mom and grandma. Shout out to Hannah Nobles and Jacqueline Ornelis. And then also lots of aloha from Michigan. And Kamahao sending aloha out to his makua hine haumea. Noi haumea. Yay! So we send a big aloha out to all of our moms and all the mama, the kupunahine, the ana kids, you know, moms come in all kinds of fashions and we love them all because like we know, it takes a village, it takes a kaiaulu, it takes the ohana to really bring us all up. So we're really happy that you're choosing to join us today. So I'm gonna take us off of sharing for just a second because we're gonna do some ho'olauna now. So again, I'm Malia Nobriga Oliveira and I'm looking outside and just really happy to be here joining you from Hanapepe Valley, Kauai. And on behalf of Hawaii Nui Akea, the School of Hawaiian Knowledge, we're always excited to bring this kind of programming into your hale and that you chose to join us. We got over 100 people joining us on Facebook. And, you know, we want to say mahalo to all of our partners who continue to help us bring this into your hale. And, you know, we have the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement that's sharing this, Oiwi TV, Mana Maoli, Office of Hawaiian Affairs, and like I shared earlier, all of our Kupaoa fans are also being able to join us on the Facebook page. So I'm gonna unmute my friends because they're also here on Kauai. So I love having Kauai on our show today. Aloha e nahoa.
Aloha. Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about where you guys are tuning in from and maybe just introduce yourselves to our audience today.
We are coming to you live from our home in Kilauea, Kauai. So other side of the island from you, Sister Malia. I am Līhau Pike and this is my husband, Kellen. And together we are known as the group Kupaoa. And we're so grateful to you, Malia. Mahalo nui for inviting us. And mahalo to Kanaiokana and all of the partners for putting together all this wonderful cultural content and connecting us all during this time of physical distancing so that we can remain social and keep educating ourselves. So we're excited to be here today.
Maika iloa. I wanted to ask our audience just to get some engagement here in the beginning. Can you guys put a one? Oh, no. Let's change this up. If you have a favorite Kupaoa mele, can you put that in the chat? What is your favorite Kupaoa mele? And just, yeah. I see
Quick,
some
everybody,
hearts.
if you don't know our stuff, go online and go find the song list and just
yeah,
like any
and
kind
if you
of stuff,
don't have one, you will have some by the end of today. So Kamaha'o is definitely sending his aloha out to Aloha ana ke Līhau me ana kala Kellen.
Oh, aloha kamaha'o.
So let's see. I see a few people are joining in, but they're wondering, like, I don't know. I get so many favorites. Maybe I don't even know the name. So maybe we just holomu. Okay, let's keep it easy then. Have you heard of Kamaha'o? We all heard of Kamaha'o. Have you seen Kupaoa at at the Nahoku's? Because I saw them last time. They was on almost every award. They was
Not for us.
all the time. No, but when you guys was going up to represent,
We were
a big part of that process. So yeah, I see. Yes, we see some fans jumping in now. I see them. Oh, and they're saying, "Where's Baby? Can you introduce Baby to us too?"
Well, Gemma is not here because if Gemma was here, she would be everywhere. She is at my mother-in-law's around the corner. So she's having some grandma and grandpa time this morning. Because she is crawling and very vocal nowadays.
All of our wires.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah, she would be everywhere. But we have some pictures on our Facebook pages and stuff. So feel free to go and check those out. She is a delight. She will be 8 months old next week already. So crazy.
Wow. Okay, so
crazy.
I did put our Puahau Ula, and so we have some great mele to share with all of you today. And so yeah, I'll turn it over to you guys and tell us a little bit about the mele.
Oh, mahalo nui. So this first song that we selected to do is one that's off of our newest store release, and it's the name of that album is Cali Moana, and this song is called Puahau Ula, and it is a song about perspective, I guess. And I was thinking about it last night, and I was thinking, gosh, a lot of how we interpret things and how we handle things in life depends on our perspective, so we have this seems especially timely now because of all of the, I guess, the craziness that has been created by the pandemic, and how our lives have really been turned upside down. And I think it helps us to look at these situations in different perspectives to maybe find the silver linings and find the things that help us be grateful. Like for us, we all of our gigs are canceled or postponed, but we have all of this wonderful time to spend with our daughter Gemma. So what a blessing that is, for us to be able to have this opportunity to just be her makua 100% of the time and be around for all of that. So this song Puahau Ula, it kind of takes that idea of perspective and it applies it to the red hau flower. So you guys all know hau, and the flower of the hau when it is young, it starts off this bright yellow. But as the hau ages, the hue changes, and when it reaches the end of its life cycle, the hau turns to be like this beautiful rust color. It's gorgeous. It's really, really beautiful. And then it falls off the tree and either onto the ground, or where I see it often is in Kalihiwai River. So Kalihiwai is real close to our house. It's maybe like 5 minutes drive away. And we love, that's what a very special place for our ohana. So we go there often, and Kellen and I many have spent many hours on the river up there, and I would always see these red hau flowers. Now I'm from Honolulu, and the whole idea of river life is new to me. We don't have a lot of that over there in Honolulu. So I was so like taken by these beautiful hau flowers, and every time we would go up the river, we would be kayaking or paddleboarding or whatever vehicle we were using to get up there. I'd be collecting all of these beautiful hau flowers.
I don't like stuff in the water and on the water with me. Like I like it clean, clear. I don't like stuff floating. I don't like stuff just under the water.
He's looking food.
It's gross.
So to him, somebody who has grown up here and everything, these house flowers, they were opala. They're these flowers. They're essentially at this point when they're in the water, they're dead. Like they have reached the end of their life cycle. They are transitioning to their next phase of being on Earth, and so um, he always would pass them without a second glance, or even become frustrated when there is a great quantity of them, because it clouds the clarity of the water and stuff like that. Whereas I thought, oh my goodness, these flowers are so beautiful. I'm on my paddleboard, I'm collecting them and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, what are you doing? This is rubbish. So this song is about that notion that perspective is important, and how it's important to remember that there are other perspectives. When I shared with Kellen through this mele that I was going to write this mele and that I was writing it, he goes, why are you writing it about that? He's like, why? And so when we talked about it, he's like, oh, I didn't realize. And then I was able to kind of teach him something new too. He's so fun. He thought that there was a separate tree that had all of these red how flowers and wasn't the same tree as the yellow how flower tree. So he's like, I thought it was two different trees. And I was like, no,
She
no.
didn't know that either.
Yes,
She
I
didn't.
did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Puel Pata told us that.
No, I
You
knew
thought
that.
there were two trees too.
No, I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really?
For real.
I
For real.
don't know.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know.
So because this song, is very personal, because it's I don't know, it's really relative to our family as well. Our niece and nephew, who are Kellen's brother's children, they love this place. It's their favorite beach. And when Kellen gave them their Hawaiian names, he gave them names relative to, I guess, what they enjoy here on Kauai. So our niece's Hawaiian name is Lana Malia, and that describes just a floating calm, a peacefulness of the ocean, and that is really who she has become as a person. She's 10 years old now. And then our nephew Jace, he's 5, and his Hawaiian name is Kapili Kai. And so it was hilarious because when he was a baby, he never liked the sand. He didn't like the sand at all. He didn't like to touch the sand. He didn't like the feel of the sand on his toes. But now he loves the ocean. He loves the ocean. And Kapili Kai means to be close to the ocean. And so this song, it weaves their names into the lyrics because I wanted to bring them into this song because they love this place so much. And this song was actually written several years ago, maybe more than 5 years ago, and it sat in my songbook for years. I had kind of put a few different melody lines to it, never was really sold on anything. And it just was just kind of gathering dust there in my book. And so when we were collecting songs for our Cali Moana album last year, Kellen was like, well, what originals do you have that we haven't done yet? And so I said, well, I mean, I pulled out a bunch of other ones. And he goes, no. He's like, what about something else? And so I pulled this and I said, well, and he goes, well, does it have a leo? Does it have a tune to it already? And I said, no, I said, yes, but I'm not like in love with it. And he said, well, do you mind if I put a melody to it? And I said, oh yeah. Because that is our normal process. Our normal process for our group is that we share the responsibilities of Hakumen. Usually I am the composer of the lyrics, and usually Kellen is the melody.
I'm listening to you telling the story, and this is like the Disney version of it. I love it. This is like for little kids, this version.
No, it's
how you just gave up your original melody.
Well, we're presenting too.
Wow. My life is a fairy tale.
No, but I love it. I love hearing this mo'olelo because, like, so far you've touched on so many things. I think that a lot of ohana are wanting to learn more about. Like, for example, you talked about name giving. You know, and that's a very cultural thing. And there are some protocols, right, to like name giving, and maybe we need to do a whole show on just name giving.
I think
right?
we should. That would be an amazing show. Yeah,
because a lot of people, it's just like, oh, I'm going to look them up in the dictionary and I'm going to choose one word. And, you know, kind of like you mentioned already, like the keiki really do become the name that you give them. And like you already shared in that little example about kapilikai and not wanting to be on the one all the time. You know, it's really funny. Like I have a keiki that I named Kekama Vaiolu. And he is like in the beginning, the mom then was like, I don't know. I was like, well, I gave you the name. You got to keep the name or you give them back to me and it stays with me, right? I mean, that's some of those protocols. And then I think I also I like how it's a collaborative effort. Because some of us, maybe we're maikai with the hakumele part and maybe not the leo part. Luckily, you guys have each other to do that. Some of us no more that talent in our own homes. So maybe it's writing. And so I like even like a lot of our friends, you know, and I saw Ānuenue is joining us and Kainani.
Oh,
yeah, and so I know like for a lot of our friends, we like having this kind of collaborative efforts. So yeah, I love that you guys are sharing that.
Well, I think, you know, for me, it's really, really valuable to have another set of eyes look and give me feedback. Sometimes a little more critical than constructive, but on what I am composing, because I see and am moved by so many things, but sometimes my inspiration is not effectively communicated. And so to be able to have Kellen to be my first sounding board, and then of course all of my originals that like get released into the world. I'm so fortunate that I always run them by my kumu Puakea Nogomeyer, and so everything that we release into the world gets the benefit of his very, I guess, just very amazing eye, and his insight and his ike and all of that. And so we are so grateful, and I think that that's one of the really valuable things about the process of hakumele is the collaboration like you're talking about. When I first wrote this song, it actually only had 4 verses, and when I talked with Puakea, when we sat with him, you know, before we started recording the song, he said, you know, I think it needs a 5th verse because there's kind of a gap. There's a gap. You're starting off in the mountains, but you're not telling me how you're getting to the ocean. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And so before we recorded the song, I actually added a 5th verse in the middle to describe the process of the flower as it transitions from, because it's a brackish water plant, but these hau that I'm talking about are the ones that I'm seeing in the freshwater zone, right? But then you also see them washing up on the beach, you know, in the Makai zone. And so I needed to he helped me to understand that I needed to make sure that the listener was able to follow that journey of the flower from the uplands to the sea, and I needed to explain as the hakumele, how did it get there. So that happened with the 3rd verse. The 3rd verse was a very late addition to the mele, actually right before the mele was recorded. And so the melody that Kellen put to this song I think was really a beautiful reflection of what I had hoped to convey. So the thing is about Hakumele, and I think a lot of times the lyricist gets the glory. The lyricist gets all the glory, but I think that the music is in some ways it's almost even more important than the lyrics, because you can have the most beautiful lyrics in the world, but if you don't have a compelling melody, then people are not going to want to listen to your melody. And so for me, that's always a struggle. I'm not a melody maker. I'm not a very good melody maker. You know, every once in a while I'll have a a moment of brilliance, but for the most part, the melodies live with Kellen, and it's because of him that my lyrics, my poetry is able to, I guess, engage so many people that it touches. So I think that that's a very important aspect of Hakumen that a lot of people don't talk about. People always talk about the lyrics, the lyrics, the lyrics, and they are very, 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 very important. Um, but the melody is important as well. And I only work with one other melody person. It's almost always Kellen. But if I step outside of my sandbox, then my other person I work with for melodies is Mark Yamanaka.
Mm.
And when Mark and I work together as well, it's always a magical process, just like with Kellen. Um, Kellen gets a little more pushback from me, but I think, Mark and I have worked together a few times, and I pretty much Mark's not my husband, so I just pretty much let Mark do whatever he wants to do. And so one example of a recent composition that I did with Mark was the title track of his most recent album, Lei Ānuenue. And so I composed the lyrics for that song, and then Mark was the one who put it to music.
And those collaborations are always more popular than our collaborations.
I think that has to do
Which
with
goes
Mark.
to say, I think the
Yeah.
singer actually
Makes a big difference
is
too.
the most important part of the whole process, because you can have a beautiful melody with beautiful lyrics, but if your singer is a dog, it's not gonna work.
Is a dog. Wow.
And
Oh
it's
my
funny because I did see a comment on our Facebook. They said, "Isn't there a Lehua song you guys sing?"
Oh, there is. There is a different Lehua song, but it did not gain the popularity of Lei Lehua,
Oh,
which is one that Mark sings. Lei Lehua definitely. If we had recorded Lei Lehua, it would not have won Song of the Year. It would not. It would not be as popular as it is now, and we have to just mahalo Mark for that. Because
so
he
maybe
put the melody.
another thought that jumped into my mind, and then let's jump to the song. I'm
Yeah.
getting excited to want to hear it, but I was thinking like that's another thing too, right? Is as a hakumele, gifting it to other performers, or like others to share your mele.
Mhm.
How do you guys deal with that?
It's always a scary process. Every song that I compose the lyrics for, I put a little bit of myself into that mele. And so to let it loose into the world when it's not under my watchful eye is a scary, scary thing for me. We have gifted songs to only a handful of artists. So besides Mark, we have gifted songs to Patrick Landeza, who is a slack key player from Berkeley, California, and we wrote him a Mele Ohana for his all of the Ohana names that he has, which are very powerful names. And then we also have gifted songs to the group Kaiholu,
Mm.
Hanale Ka'anapu tracks, and Mahialani Stillman and Uncle Al. And so I think that's it.
We did others. We did
Oh,
like
Anna, Kuana.
Kuana,
Yeah.
Waipuna. We did other groups, but the
Oh yeah,
thing is,
Waipuna too. That's right.
people come to us and ask us, "Hey, do you have an original song that we can do?" And pretty much, if we're tied to that song, if it's a personal song to us, if we love that song, we're not gonna give anybody those songs.
Mm.
So we come back, we say, "Oh yeah, sure, we do," or maybe we can write something for you guys. So for the most part, we'll compose something for that group with them in mind, so that it's not one of our songs, it's not one of our experiences. We're kind of having them in mind so that they can sing it, and we're not so tied to it.
Mm.
Songs that we compose that we love, we probably will never give them away. We'll probably do it our way first, so that that's the original expression.
Mhm.
And then after that, if somebody wants to remake it, that's fine. But then our original intent is out there. And so
There are a couple of exceptions to that rule, of course. Way back before we started playing music together, the first song that I composed that was ever recorded was put to music by Chad Takatsugi, and recorded by their group then, my brother Chad and Gonzo, They were members of the group Alea. And so they recorded the very first composition of mine that was recorded, and that was a very, very personal song. But at that time, I didn't have a way to get that out there. And so I was happy to.
Did you think you would be here?
No.
That's why.
No, I never ever thought that I would be a musician. And so that song Kalehua Punono was a very, very personal song that we actually do it now, our own rendition of it. But their rendition to me is still like the epitome. It also helps that they featured Kili'i Rachel on it. So I was like ultimate fangirl of Kili'i. So I was like, you want to feature Kili'i? Oh yes, please. So but anyway, so Puahau is one of those that I don't think we ever would have given this one away, just because it is in some ways a mele ohana for us, and it is about a place that is so dear to us. So Puahau kalamai for the leo kakahiaka, but we're gonna sing it for you now, and it goes something like this.
Oh, nahe no oya no kamanao o Monty me na hoa aloha ma Zoom. So all our friends are saying,
Monty.
Yeah, Monty's here with us today. He said aloha e na hoa.
Oh, right on.
Auntie
Okay.
Heya mai, Helumoa mai.
Oh, right on. Awesome.
Yeah, so that was really beautiful. And, and I was thinking, especially because of baby now, this kind of has like a lullaby-ish kind of theme to it. I like it.
I guess it does. I never thought about that.
Oh
But
my God, most of our songs sound like a lullaby. Puts everybody to sleep.
we're very popular with the go to sleep crowd. Um, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's Hula. And yeah, I don't know if
I
anybody
can
has any.
envision the hula. I was picturing the hula coming.
I saw you swing there. I was
I
like,
know.
this is,
I was like,
she's her choreography right there, right on.
So where can we find this again? You mentioned it's a part of your project Lei Moana.
So it's on it's on Cali Moana. And Cali Moana is available on all digital platforms. It is also available on our website. You can find it.
I'll get a picture.
Can people go to the store yet?
Supposedly it start to open up, but I don't know how. Our mayor has been very like Kupaoa, right?
Yes, and I love that about him.
Yes.
So here's what the album looks like.
Justin said very beautiful. Oh yeah, let me stop sharing so they can see it. Justin said, I was able to find it on Spotify with all of your music. Mahalo for sharing.
Awesome. So you can find this in the store too. So we are distributed by Island Heritage Music, and so they have it. You can also get it on mele.com or on all of those digital sites as well. And digital music ordering, CD ordering stuff. And all of our albums come with liner notes that have the lyrics and translation and a little bit about the mele. So Cali Moana is no exception.
Great. So, and yeah, because someone was asking here, I'm not sure if I'm saying this correctly, but Chielo is saying would love the music and lyrics. And so, all of this is being recorded. And so you'll be able to go back and watch it and see the lyrics. And then if it's okay with you guys, maybe we can also put the song sheets that you shared with me, the PDFs. Sure. Can I share that with our audience?
Of course.
Okay, great. And then, I'll bring up our next mele.
Okay, yes.
I think it's
Panikapuka.
Yeah, Panikapuka. Okay.
So I chose to do this next mele because it is a mele that doesn't have liner notes out there in the world. Because so during this time of physical distancing from everybody, here in our home in Kilauea, we have a little recording studio. And so Kellen had the wonderful idea that we should get into the studio and record some songs and gift it to everyone. So we created an album that we are offering as a makana to everyone. It is available for free, and you can only find it on our website Kupaoa.com. And because we're giving it away for free, that is the only way that we could get it out there.
It was our way of sharing for that Ikanikapila Kako challenge because we were so absent from making videos and all that. Right. We wanted to put Kupaoa music out there for everybody, but we weren't really doing videos.
So it's hard to do videos with an infant, especially one that crawls everywhere. Like Sister Girl is everywhere. So the lives were difficult. And then when we do the video, we gotta wait till late at night when Sister Girl is sleeping. So we decided to do this album. And so Mele Panikapuka is the only original of ours that we wrote both the lyrics and music to, that is on this album. And so I wanted to talk about it because since the album, which is called, it's kind of tongue in cheek, it's called Social Distancing. Since the album we have no plans to print the album, there is no accompanying CD, so there are no liner notes for the album. So I wanted to talk about this mele so that the mo'olelo behind it could get out there, so that the lyrics and the translation could get out there. And so just so that we had a little opportunity to share our mana'o behind this mele, because it is about a place that is very dear to me. And this song, and if Ānuenue is still watching, I'm gonna send this song out to her. This song is written for the Heya fish pond. And so, gosh, 20 years ago, my father and dad, if you're still watching, it's thanks to dad. My father was the one who encouraged me to become a part of a young group of Hawaiians that had just started forming to malama this place, Heya Fish Pond. And Heya Fish Pond is still owned by Kamehameha Schools. But since then, I guess that the care and maintenance of this beautiful 88-acre traditional fish pond has been leased over to a nonprofit organization called Pai Pai o Heya. And I was a small part along with seven other awesome, amazing people who created that nonprofit. And I still remain connected. I'm no longer there. After 7 or 8 years working there, I stepped away from working there. But then Hi'ilei Cavello, who is their executive director, she asked me to come back and be on the board of directors. So I have been on the board of directors for the last 8 years or something, like a long time. And it's a place that I'm not from the windward side, but it is one that I have a very, very enduring, close connection with. And so Mele Panikapuka was written. It's a different kind of mele. So Puahau Ula is a mele about perspective. It's a mele ohana. It's a mele aloha. It's in some ways it is a mele aina because it's talking about this beautiful place. Mele Panikapuka, it is recounting historical events. And so the reason that this song was written was actually because I was approached by Patrick Makuakane, who is a kumuhula in San Francisco of Nalei Hului Kaveku. And we have been working with them in our musical capacity as their kind of halau house band for the past 15 years. And so a few years ago, he approached me and he wanted to do something in his annual shows that was going to talk about this event, Pani Kapuka, which happened in 2015 at the fish pond. And so he commissioned me to compose and choreograph a mele that that we would sing and his dancers would dance in the show. And he said, I want it to be about this historical closing of the gap. So the backstory for that is that in 1965, there was a big flood in the on the windward side of Oahu, and there's the fish pond. If you've never seen it, the Heya fish pond is encircled by a wall that was constructed by our ancestors. I guess rough estimates are about 800 years ago. And when this flood happened, it was at a time when the pond was not necessarily functioning as it once did back in the day when it was created. So perhaps the maintenance and care of it wasn't in a place where it could withstand that pressure of water. So the result of the flood was that it blew a hole in this rock wall that was constructed. And for 50 years, the wall was kind of, we called it the break wall, because that area on the wall, we called it the break wall because it was where the wall broke. And there's band-aid fixes, but never a true repairing of that puka. And so in 2015, Pai Pai o Heya, after, gosh, many, many years of permitting process, fundraising, and all this kind of stuff, in December of 2015, they closed that gap. And it was through their leadership, but also through the dedicated efforts of hundreds of members of the community that came down to Heya Fish Pond that day, um, that they were able to close it.
Mm.
And so this song is about, it recounts what happened to create the gap, but also what happened to close the gap. And the chorus of the song, it includes, um well, it is some lyrics that Hi'ilei wrote. And so, ho'oniho kaniho pai pai kealo pani haka haka pohaku kapa pale, it talks about the process of creating this wall that is integral to the infrastructure of the fish pond. And so I asked Hi'ile if I could borrow that from her. And then I added the line at the end of that hui, pani kapuka, because that is what they did that day. And that is what needs to continually happen at the fish pond for the resource to maintain its integrity and continue to be, um, just around for generations to come.
Mm.
And so, I'm dedicating this song, today's talking about it and performance of it later on, to Ānuenue, because Ānuenue was part of that group of um of young people who created Pai Pai o Heya back in the day. And also Mahina Paishan Duarte, of course Hi'ile Cavello, Keli Ikotubete, Kavaiho, and Kalaho, and myself. And so we it was, and Jay Peloso. I mean, it was, there's so many of us involved in that over the years. Jamie Makasobe. And so I think all of us in some way, shape, or form, and Koa Schultz, we all continue to be involved in the
Mm.
fish pond or in that area. And so I guess Mele Panikapuka, it just, that's what it that's what it describes. And I wanted to bring it forward today because I think this song has meaning for the many members of the community that the fish pond has touched. And over the years, Heya Fish Pond has touched many lives. And the closing of the gap there on the break wall was a very significant event, not just for the fish pond but for the community, because I think it showed how important the community is to the life of that resource, to the just how it will continue to endure. Resources like this rely on a community to exist, just as we as a community rely on this resource to feed us. And so that reciprocal relationship, I think, is very important, um, to understand. And it's really kind of the underlying, um, foundation for so many things in our lives nowadays. And so,
Kai, I see a few comments in the Zoom,
oh,
and
okay.
I see also one on the Facebook. But I wanted to read it because it's really nani. So Kyla says, I love Mele Panikapuka and we love and miss you folks so much. Mahalo for
Oh,
sharing over here.
Kyla. Oh,
I'm assuming she's one of the dancers, maybe.
she is. She is one of the dancers. Yeah, she is.
And then your papa is saying, yep, still watching you guys and so grateful for the work of Pai Pai Ohe'eya. The day of Panikapuka was one of life's great moments. Aloha Aina.
Oh, good job, Dad.
And then another one, and I think Justin is saying about, I would love to help restoring the old fish ponds and Malama Ka'aina. Do you have any advice on how people can get involved, whether at Heya Fish Pond or other fish ponds?
Right. So I do know for Pai Pai Ohe'eya at He'eya Fish Pond, they have a website, and it's paipaiOhe'eya.org. And so they do host, I not right now because of the whole, pandemic, but normally they do host monthly community work days. And I know that they do welcome folks from the community to become involved. So you can hook up with them there. They also have social media platforms, Pai Pai Ohe'eya on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And they welcome the involvement of the community. So I know they would love to hear from you. And I just want to say mahalo to my dad, because He'eya Fish Pond, was back in the day was slated to be dredged and filled and used like as a marina. And it was because of the big pushback that they got from the community at that time, actually. But that didn't happen. But Pai o Heya came into existence, and I think that, you know, a lot of the reason that Heya Fish Pond is able to be used as an educational resource and a community resource today, is because of my dad. And my dad was he's now retired, well, sort of retired. His definition of retired is very different from many people's. But he was the director of land assets at Kamehameha. And so I think that it could have gone a different way if it had been a different person in the leadership position there at Kamehameha. But I know that we at Pai o Heya are ever grateful to him for his leadership and his dedication to making sure that that place remained um, as it is, and wasn't developed in a different way. So thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
Make you
mahalo.
cry a tear out of your one good eye.
No, we're so thankful because so many of us have been able to be there at Heya Fish Pond, and just the feeling you get now is so different. And I think that's a very similar story for Waipa. You know,
Oh
Waipa
yes.
waited to be this bigger thing, but it mahalo to those ohana in that area that really came forward and was like, no, we need to restore our ahupua'a. And you know, I think these are great examples.
And that's the thing too, you know, to have these ohana that are motivated, to have these individuals that are motivated to take action, but also to have a landowner that is willing to listen, and to work in partnership with these community members, I think is key. And I think in several instances that has happened with properties and ahupua'a, or places that Kamehameha is fortunate enough to own. So we're very grateful to them for their continued support of just this great, I guess, Aina Aloha Aina movement, and how we show our Aloha for Aina different ways. And so this is one of the ways um that I show my aloha for this place. I have written other songs for He'eia Fish Pond. But this has become one of my favorites, probably because it's the new one of the newer ones. But but I don't know. It's on our album Social Distancing, which you can get on our website, Kupaoa.com. It is free. So you can go check it out.
My God, yeah.
The
Going to ask
song,
before we start
yeah.
playing it, because some of our participants like to play along. What key are you guys playing this in, and maybe what are the keys to use here?
This song is a little bit
Those are good planning keys.
this one is a little bit complicated, but you're welcome to strum along. It starts in the key of G.
Starts in G. The second verse goes to the key of C, and it goes back to the key of G in the third verse. The song has plenty chords because we put a bunch of these minor chords in the song, and when you're making melodies, music makes you feel a certain way. You ever listen to music like, okay, think of Star Wars. It's all instrumental music, right? So you have the happy sounding stuff, and then when the evil guys come on, it goes dun, 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 dun. These are minor chords that evoke this feeling of tension and drama and this and that. And if you can put these minor chords into certain songs in the right place, it'll create, because this is about a storm that blew a puka in the wall. And so we put these minor chords in to cause that, and then we put in a beautiful major chord following that up to kind of bring that happiness and the light back. And if you put the chords in the right order, the melody adds to the beautifulness of the lyrics. You know.
Cool.
So sorry, that's good plenty chords because this is a complicated story.
Melody maker over here. So
okay, awesome.
Yeah, so those are the feelings that we hope is like that we evoke during the listening process. But yeah, so we start off in G.
Okay.
So this is Panikapuka.
He aloha no ka loko I ao he eia, ka he vai vai, ka hela I ka lai, kuha a he o ke kuapa ka maha o, e malu mono na no, na pua. He aloha no ka loko I ao he eia, ka he vai vai, ka hela I ka lai, kuha a he o ke kuapa ka maha o, e malu mono na no, na pua. Oniho kaniho pai pai ke alo, pani haka haka pohaku ka papale, pani ka puka, pani ka puka.
Lolo kui ho kaua kaniko o a holo ki kawai o kai kai. Pu'u ke kuapa piha ui kawai. A poha veli veli vale aku noia.
Oniho kaniho pai pai ke alo, pani haka haka pohaku ka papale, pani ka puka, pani ka puka. Wili ke kako e alui ka hana no ia kuapa, e hoi ka pono, pani no ka puka I ka laulima, e nani no ka loko ia, I ke kai aulu. Wili ke kako e alui ka hana no ia kuapa, e hoi ka pono, pani no ka puka I ka laulima, e nani no ka loko ia, I ke kai aulu. Oniho kaniho pai pai ke alo, pani haka haka pohaku ka papale, pani ka puka, pani ka puka, pani ka puka. Pani ka puka with a couple of wrong chords in that second verse.
Oh, mahalo nui. I wanted to like kahea at the end. Oh, panikapuka. Oh, mahalo nui. So I wanted to see if anybody had any questions because we're slowly coming to the end of our time together. And this
Time
is
just flies. I
I
know.
know.
Oh
Time
my God,
just
can you guys hear the chickens?
The chickens are going crazy across the street right now. Hopefully
know.
you can't hear them.
no, I cannot.
Okay,
They're
good.
quiet on my end, and normally they're very kani over here too.
Okay. Well, you know kawaii, that's why. So
Yes, yes. No poki, but we get all the chickens outside.
And that's okay. You know, if this thing lasts longer, this COVID thing, we're gonna eat them.
You know, speaking of
always
that,
have
my
food.
girlfriend came from Nairobi, and from the moment we were sitting, we loaded up her bags, and then we're sitting in the car. She started to look around, and she's like, "Malia, whose chickens are these at the airport? They're wild."
States.
And then
The States chickens.
right, we went to Costco, and she's like, "There's chickens all over here. Where's the caretaker?" You know. And she was just like blown away. She's like, "Do you guys eat these?" Or like, "No." I guess it
$5 roast chickens.
was too, too funny. So yeah, before I bring up our closing slides, did you guys have any closing mana'o or mahalo or love to share with any moms out there?
Of course, we'd like to mahalo you all for joining us and sharing some time with us this morning or this afternoon, where whatever time it is where you are. Um, it's been our pleasure to just talk story about. We had hoped to get to a third mele, but you know, us chatty Cathy's over here. I mean, we're too we're too busy, especially me. Just talk, talk, talk. But you know, mahalo to you, Malia, for inviting us. We had a wonderful time, and we want to say mahalo to our mothers, Marianne, Hannes, and also my mother-in-law, Linda Pike, and all of the people who have mothered us over the years. We are so grateful to you all. And we want to mahalo all of the people who are tuning into for supporting Hawaiian music and supporting like Mea Hawaii, just everything. And we hope you'll check us out on, we have social media pages, or we have our website, kupaoa.com. We hope you'll check out Pai Pai o Heya, paipaiOheya.org, and see all of the amazing, wonderful work. I know OEB TV produced a little video that they have on YouTube about the Panikapuka event. So you can check that out with them. Mahalo to Kanaiokana and Kamehameha Schools for supporting all of this streaming cultural content. Anything to add?
You know, just on the musician side, this whole pandemic has pretty much shut down the music industry worldwide. So, do what you guys can, support everybody's stuff. And when we do get back out there, come out to all the shows and just show support. Thank you guys.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Can you guys also mention the nonprofit that you guys got started too?
Oh yeah, so here in Kilauea, we love our Kilauea community. We love, love, love it. And 5 years ago, we started producing this annual Christmas concert called Kilauea Christmas. And we have been doing it every year since, and it gets bigger and bigger every year. And it is just a wonderful opportunity for our community to come together. And because that event was such a success, um, we had the idea that, hey, we should try to do other kind of, not to that scale, maybe. Maybe Kilauea Christmas is the big event every year. But people from all over the island, from even they've started planning vacations. People from off the island have started planning vacations around the event. But we can do smaller scale events for our community members here in Kilauea. And so we created a nonprofit called Kaulana Kilauea. And we have a website, kaulanakilauea.org. And it's a very rudimentary website because I'm the web designer and I'm not so hot at that stuff. But so we, right before, we were just awarded our 501c3 status late last year. And then right before, and then I gave birth and everything. So we were busy. And then right before the pandemic, we had our first the first thing we were rolling out besides Kilauea Christmas was our family game nights. And every month we were going to get together, and it was just going to be a free event for people to come to. And our first game we featured was Hanafuda.
Oh.
And we had our first one right before the pandemic. So we have not been able to have another one, but we really are looking forward to having another one. And we hope to roll out we were hoping to roll out some other events this year, but we'll just see how the year unfolds. But other things like Kilauea Kanikapila, where we could all get together and, you know, play some Hawaiian songs. Awaya Ulu Press donated a bunch of the Hemelia Aloha books that we are going to be able to use with our participants in that.
This is the old plantation town, and the old folks, the families, original families of Kilauea, they remember how this community came together under the plantation, and everybody knew everybody, and they feel it too, how sometimes it feels like you don't know your neighbors and stuff. So we wanted to create events that bring people together so that you can know your neighbors and keep that community feel going. Because if you don't, you're just gonna be living among strangers. You don't really have a community. You can call it that, but you don't have one. So we'd like to just do our little part to kind of facilitate and foster bringing people together.
Yeah. So yeah, Kaulana Kilauea is the name of it.
Great. So yeah, everybody go check out Kaulana Kilauea. Is it .org?
Yeah.
kaulanakilauea.org, and then we also mentioned Kupaoa.com, where you can go get these free mele and called on their album called Social Distancing, and that's where you can get mele panikapuka. And then you'll also find out more about all of the different mele that you can go find on Spotify, Apple Music, whichever platform you're ma'a to. So thanks again, you guys. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo.
Okay, let me bring up my closing slides here. And as usual, I gotta click on present. We ask all of you to go to our online evaluation. If you can just share a few mana'o, it just takes a few minutes there at kanayokana.net/survey and let us know what you're thinking, if there's any particular topics or presenters you would like us to reach out to and invite. Feel free to share your mana'o there. And we've been having so many great presenters throughout the week, and there will be more to come. At 12 o'clock today, Ekela Kani'aupio Crozier will be having an Aikole session, and some of our Ohana Ni'ihau will be joining us for that. So please come back and Aikole Kole, go get your mea ai, your aina avakea, nanea pu, and join us there. The best place to find out what's on our upcoming schedule, because we're also having a ahakane webinar today too. Go to kanayokana.net/lei. And that's where you can always find the most updated schedule and what's coming up. So many great presenters and sharings that continue to happen as a part of the Lei Ānuenue series. So stay connected with us. A big mahalo on behalf of Kanayokana, our Kula Hawaii network, as well as Hawaii Nui Akea. You can go to follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram. And that's the best way to stay connected with us and always get updated information. So oya vale no komako mo'olelo no keia la. Sending lots of aloha again out to all of you. Hope na pule mahikai a oko pakahi. Ai, aloha.